latest details on this, let's go to Caitlin McGee, who is in Jakarta for us. Caitlin, thanks so much for joining us. Just shocking events that we've seen just there in Soraya's report. What is the mood there on the streets of the city tonight?
Well, it's just gone past 11 p.m. Local time here in Jakarta, and the streets are relatively calm. Traffic is moving pretty freely, but armed police, snipers and armoured vehicles have been deployed across the city for what's been a pretty dramatic and very violent day. Now, about an hour and a half ago, there was a bit of commotion. There's a loud explosion and a loud thud that we heard. So about 50 metres across the road in this building behind me called the Jaya building. And that caused a bit of panic, but police say they've confirmed it wasn't a bomb, and they say that they're now in control of the city after those series of bombings and gun battles that we heard about in Soraya's report. Now, those attacks were based and carried out in Tamrin Street, which is where we're standing now, about 100 metres up the road. It's a pretty busy business district, a lot of foreign embassies, a lot of also home to the United Nations offices, and Indonesia's president, Joko Widodo, as we heard, has ascribed those attacks as an act of terror. And they've laid the blame pretty squarely with the armed group Daesh, who of course, as we know, are predominantly based in Syria and Iraq, but also have factions in Libya and Egypt's Sinai. Now, police say they also have a blossoming cell in Southeast Asia, and that includes here, Indonesia, but also the Philippines, Thailand, and Malaysia. And police here have named a man called Nairum Bain as being the point of contact for Daesh on the ground. They believe he was the man who was very successful and closely allied to Daesh and helped them plan and carry out these attacks.
Caitlin, as you noted, the President has told people that they need to be calm and that this is a safe place with a lot of security, but you can understand their scepticism given that this certainly isn't the first time Indonesia has been the victim of a bombing attack.
That's right. This isn't the first time that Indonesia has had attacks like this carried out against it. But I think it's quite well regarded that Indonesia has been reasonably successful, certainly up until now, at curbing homegrown radicalisation or extremism. Certainly since the 2009 bombings in Jakarta that targeted the Marriott Hotel and the Carlton, that left 7 people dead, up to 50 people injured. Of course, the 2005 Bali bombings, that left 23 people dead. But for President Joko Widodo, this security threat is unprecedented for him in his presidency, so it'll be very interesting to see how he and his security forces meet this challenge. Certainly one of the added factors, I guess, from people that I've been talking to, part of an extra layer that's adding to the fear is the element of uncertainty. People don't know if this is just a one-off attack or if this is just the beginning of a series of coordinated attacks with many more to follow. So that's certainly adding another element to what is a very tense situation.
Caitlin McGee in Jakarta, thank you for joining us.